Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I thank the honourable member for the question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Fijian government is obliged to protect the rights of our children as per our commitment to the Convention on the Rights of Children. Children in this context are those between the ages of 0 to 18. Demographic Fiji's proportion of the population between 0 to 18 cohort is approximately made of 34% or 300,000 children. Mr. Speaker said the care and protection budget of 50,000 in the revised budget will enable government to facilitate advocacy and outreach programs on the prevention of child abuse and neglect, which is done annually. Secondly, the allocation will also allow the Ministry to facilitate wide and inclusive consultations on two national policies on children, namely the National Child Protection Strategic Framework and the National Child Safeguarding Policy. Work progress in this area include consultations with faith-based organizations, civil society organizations, and government agencies at national level. The Ministry will be formalizing its submission and finalization of the policy within the fourth quarter of this financial year. Mr. Speaker, in relation to the National Child Safeguarding Policy, the Ministry continues to meet with relevant government agencies to consult widely on the framework. Once the policy is endorsed, every government agency engaged in activities that involve contact with children will be required to adopt the National Child Safeguarding Policy or to develop their own safeguarding policy aligned to the National Child Safeguarding Policy. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry, as per its legal mandate under the existing legislation related to child protection, also requires the state to provide for the needs of children as and when child placements are being facilitated by the Ministry officials. These would include meeting expenses of travel, meals and accommodation accordingly. Today, the Ministry works with a total of 11 residential care homes and children across the country, which has a total of 156 children. Existing legislations that guide the work of welfare officers in the front line of child protection include the Adoption of Infants Act 58, the Child Welfare Act of 2010, and the Juvenile Act 56. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to inform this August House that government investment for child protection is not limited to this 50,000 annually alone. There are other budget allocations that serve to resource the service platform. In the last 4 years, government has provided a total investment of 45.6 million towards child protection initiatives and government, which includes social protection, institutional grants, as well as the child protection programs. This equates to an average of 11.4 million allocation annually in the past 4 years. Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying that child protection allocation in the revised budget is an enabling allocation for the welfare officers to facilitate according to the requirements to meet the best interest and protection of our children, which comes through our service terrains across the 4 national divisions. This, of course, is part of the bigger allocation towards child protection resourcing that government invests annually. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.